What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel Sports, Life, and Politics TV. And today is August 31st. I'm Samuel Koppel, and I'm here for the news. And the first clip we're going to be going over today is Hansborough man accused of shooting young kids in the head. And I've said this time and time again, the world has started to descend into chaos, you guys. Some of the acts that I see in clips I come across are just mind-blowing, and it's disturbing and it's upsetting to even see and hear and try to get an understanding. But from my perspective, I think most of these things are coming from a lack of a base of a foundation of belief in God, having something that you can, like a foundation of belief of right and wrong and what you should and shouldn't be doing. Because when you out here just a loose soul, there's so many demonic spirits out here, you guys, that it can easily enter into you when you don't have no belief system. You doing hardcore narcotics or drugs as a gateway to being possessed and doing all type of things, you guys. But this first clip, let's go over this. Hansborough man accused of shooting young kids in the head.
Good morning, everyone. This is a case that is not only tragic, but extremely disturbing. Around 10:30 p.m. last evening, a mother's out for dinner and is making every effort she can to get home before her children go to sleep. So she arrives at the house and goes upstairs to say goodnight to her 5-year-old daughter, who sleeps in the top bunk, and her 8-year-old son, who sleeps in the bottom bunk. When she goes and kisses both of them goodnight, her 5-year-old daughter even giggles because she was trying to act like she was already asleep. So she kisses both her children asleep, leaves them there with the children's father, her husband, and runs in the restroom because she has to go to the bathroom. While she's going to the bathroom...
Now, this was the father who did it, but I wonder why the title said man accused of shooting young kids in the head instead of saying father. I don't know. That's weird.
She hears several gunshots. She had initially believed that the gunshots happened right outside her residence, but then sometime shortly thereafter said these gunshots were too close. Fearing for her own life, she runs outside. When she runs outside, she encounters her next door neighbor. He had already made a frantic 911 call to our communication center saying that he heard several gunshots. She takes over the phone call and starts talking to our 911 dispatcher. As that phone call's occurring, the husband, the children's father, walks outside carrying the 8-year-old son, saying...
Now, first, I just want to hear that a little bit. If you just got home from going out to dinner, you kiss your kids, you hear gunshots, and then you assume that's too close. She thought it was close and outside, but then she said she thought it was even closer, like from in the house, and you ran outside and you didn't check on the kids. Most parents, and I think most of y'all would agree, most parents, the first thing they're going to do is check on the kids. Unless she knew already what happened or assumed what happened and ran outside. But you know, these stories, it's always a lot of details that's left out. Unless you was there and get to see it happen play by play, and minute, second by second, and minute by minute, there's always things that's left out, especially in the first part of the initiation of the investigation. But yeah, to me, something sounds a little odd, you know, just running past and then your kids is in there. I don't know.
Call for help, call for help, call for help. Our deputies in Hillsborough County Fire Rescue rush to the scene and are there a short time later. When our deputies initially arrive on scene, they see the father in the family room cradling the 8-year-old son, saying it was an accident. They're like, sir, what do you mean it was an accident? It was an accident. I don't know how the gun went off. I accidentally shot my son. Fire Rescue gets there and does a wonderful job of initiating every life-saving measure that they can think of to prepare this child to be transported to Tampa General Hospital. The detectives on scene then say, is there anyone else inside the residence? Is there anyone else here?
Once again, why would the detectives have to ask the parents, is anyone? The mom would already know the daughter was there. Don't you think the first thing a parent would think, if one child is shot, you instantly think, what's going on with my other child? instantly. That's why I'm telling y'all. Something's left out of this story. This is odd.
They said the husband says my 5-year-old daughter's upstairs sleeping. Deputies go upstairs only to make the gruesome discovery that there's a 5-year-old laying in a top bunk, laying in a pool of her own blood. She is shot 2 to 3 times in her head. The same injury that the 8-year-old had sustained and suffered from. Paramedics come upstairs, again begin life-saving measures, and rush both children to Tampa General Hospital. Our 5-year-old victim has been pronounced deceased. Our 8-year-old is fighting for his life. He went to surgery last evening, and this morning is fighting for his life as the wonderful, wonderful doctors and staff at Tampa General
He kind of got choked up. I would imagine he probably has young kids himself.
Hospital are doing everything they can to save this young boy's life. This is a case that, and an experience that no parent should have to live through, and that no law enforcement officer or first responder should ever have to witness. We as a sheriff's office are struggling today. Our detectives and deputies who were on scene are going to need some help, and we're bringing some counselors in to try to get them through this gruesome scene that they had to witness, and detectives have to work through as they continue to put the pieces of the puzzle together here. Arrested is Jermaine Lavonda Bass. He's 30 years of age. His date of birth is 4/27/1992. He has been charged with first degree
Now, let's get to why I think he shot those kids. Now, the mother was out at dinner. It could have been innocent. Maybe she was out doing her thing. Maybe she came in the house, used the bathroom, he picked up the phone. Now, all this is assumption, I'm guessing, but this is the type of things that happen to lead to these. And he's seen something, maybe a DM, or maybe seen somebody a message, a text message, or he checked the email. You never know. And sometimes when people want to hurt people, they don't want to kill them. They want to make them suffer and live with what happened. This sound like he might have found something or already knew something, and he wanted to make the mother pay. Because why else in God's name would a man, a father, only shoot his 2 children? He didn't shoot her, and he didn't kill himself. That makes me think that there's more. That's why I say, y'all, there's more to this story. I promise you. As this story goes on, as more information come out, I guarantee you tomorrow sometime, when I'll probably do an update on this video, but tomorrow sometime, you'll see more, something else didn't happen. But this soulless demon right here shot 2 innocent children, his own children, at point blank range in the head, y'all. He executed his own kids. That's mind-boggling. Hopefully I don't know if they have the death penalty where he's at, but I hope and pray that he receives the death penalty. Because we know for a fact he's going to get life. But he deserves the death penalty.
Premeditated murder and first-degree attempted premeditated murder and aggravated child abuse. I hope that this individual feels the full weight of the criminal justice system and never sees the light of day where he could ever be in a position to harm another human being. In Tampa Bay, we're extremely privileged. We have so many wonderful resources. The Spring of Tampa Bay. If anyone ever feels they may be a victim of family violence, pick up the phone and take advantage of such a wonderful resource. The same goes for the crisis center. It's as simple as calling 988.
Yeah, well, the rest of the video is basically going to be him, kind of explaining, answering a few questions here and there, but they don't have all the answers. I'm pretty sure they have more answers than they're willing to give at this point, but obviously they're still investigating. But I guarantee you guys, there's more to this story, and this brother, Hopefully, like the man says, he never sees the light of day. And me personally, this is in Tampa Bay, Florida. Hopefully they have, I don't know if they have the death penalty in Florida, but if anybody ever deserved it, it would be this man, Jermaine Bass. May he rot in hell. Let's move on to the next clip, you guys. Man, some of these things are just so heinous. 18-year-old killed in double shooting believes, let me see, they don't finish, let me see. Believed to have been murdered by a boyfriend. Take a look.
We now know the identity of the man accused of killing a woman and injuring her sister before turning the gun on himself. The Harris County Sheriff's Office says Walker Pareto was dating.
And you see what I just said about the last story? Which makes it odd because he shot the kids, but he didn't shoot himself. Now, he shot his girlfriend, killed her, and then killed himself. Which is more typical of what happens when, the girl tends to want to break up with somebody or somebody finds out somebody's cheating.
One of the victims, KPRC2's Bryce Newberry, is live in downtown at the Harris County Sheriff's Office. Bryce?
Well, Daniela, the Sheriff's Office says the man who did this was the boyfriend of that sister who died, and tonight her older brother is telling us that she was hardworking and had good character. Tonight, 18-year-old Reha Saeed is being remembered as a...
Let me say this. Obviously, this is a very pretty young lady. She started out, they say she was 18. She started out dating thug guys, probably 15, 16, 17. I would almost get, I always say, I leave room that I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I would almost guarantee she was about tired of that thug ass dude. She no longer wanted to date him. She had already found another dude. He probably was the exact opposite of him. Yeah, he probably worked at a hospital. He might have been an x-ray tech, or he might have been in a truck. He was somebody who was the exact opposite. She learned early, hey, I need a decent dude. I can't be dealing with this shit. This violence. He might have hit her once or twice and called her out her name. And she said she just want a regular square dude who gonna treat her right. Because she's pretty. I'm pretty sure it was a bunch of guys that was trying to holler, and she was starting to come into her own. And I guarantee you, he found out about that. An argument persisted. And then, what goes from there. He's already a violent. He probably listens to nothing but drill music. And you know what I mean? He probably one of those people who just into violence. Drug dealing, he probably didn't shot at people that been shot at, all that type of shit. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's my theory on that, on probably what happened when they met up.
Kind-hearted, down-to-earth girl who cared a lot about her family. The pharmacy tech who just started college, killed by gunfire Monday night on Backenberry and Constitution Lane near Friendswood.
I see a young lady get out of a vehicle. She walks up to the car, opens the door, and she's having a conversation with whoever's in the driver's seat of that car. Again, it appeared to me is that they knew each other and they were having a kind of a small argument.
Saeed's sister, who the family says goes by Noor, was also shot in the neck. Her older brother telling KPRC2 she's expected to be okay, but her recovery will take weeks. The 20-year-old is working to get her real estate license. Tonight, the Harris County Sheriff's Office says 19-year-old...
Like I said, that's him. You can see. He got, I don't know what that MGS is, but I guarantee he's a gangbanger, thug, drug dealer. He's been in shootouts. I'm telling you, listening to nothing but rap music, drill music, killing shit. And he knew he was about to lose his girl. And she was a very beautiful young lady. And he knew he had lost her, and another dude was already up in there. She probably already had been going out on dates with the dude and all that. You know how girls do it. When they get ready to get rid of you, you already really got it. She might still be with you for another month or two, but this other dude didn't already slipped in there. You know what I mean? He didn't put his Mac down, and he didn't show what he can do. He got a nice car. He got everything she looking for, and he just couldn't handle that, man. That's why I say a lot of these people are not raised with no godliness. They ain't raised in the church. They don't have no foundation of religion or belief in God. So when it comes to hurting and harming people, they don't have no problem with that. Yeah, we living in the modern day children of the corn.
Walker Pareto, who they say was the boyfriend of the sister who died, fired the shots. As authorities moved in on him just before 7 Tuesday morning in a Willis grocery store parking lot more than 70 miles from the shooting, they say Pareto shot himself inside his car and later died at the hospital.
And despite the sheriff's office saying that these two were dating, the family tells us they have no idea who this suspect was. Court records show that he was arrested and charged earlier this summer for felony drug possession and unlawful carrying of a firearm, but at the time of this double shooting, he was out on bond. We're live downtown tonight. I'm Bryce Newberry.
Of course he was. Of course he was. Moral of the story, moral of the story, young ladies, get you a square. Shit, get you a L7. Try to get you a decent mother. Ask him, does he have two parents? How was he raised? Was he raised religiously? Does he have a belief in God? In today's society, that matters, y'all. All these clips and shit there's so many clips that I can go over, but it's just, I have to pick and choose certain ones. But this shit is happening literally every day, all day. The type of killing that's going on is unbelievable. It's astronomical at this point, the amount of murders and childs being killed and young ladies being killed and men being killed. It's ridiculous, y'all. Let's go to this next one. Mother's charged in the shooting death of a 7-year-old daughter. Despicable.
So new details in the weekend shooting death of a 7-year-old girl in Atlanta. Police have confirmed to 11 Alive News that the woman that they have in custody is the victim's mother. Right now, 44-year-old Kanika Springfield is in custody, charged with aggravated assault and a weapon.
This is another lady you could tell, look at this demon. She looked like she's into witchcraft in her spare time. The only time this lady's prayed to God was when she prayed that the weave store had a gray blonde wig. And there's a God because he answered her prayers. Just look at the top of her head. Unbelievable. God rest that little girl's soul. This mama belongs. Hopefully she burns in hell and does life in jail.
Is charged in the death of Ava Phillips. Police now confirming the relationship between the two as mother and daughter. Springfield is one of two suspects facing charges, and police is still searching for a second person, and that's 23-year-old Deshaun Collins. He has multiple warrants out for his arrest, including for murder and cruelty towards children.
Hey, listen to me, y'all. You see this little girl? This little girl was probably, I would almost guarantee that she was being molested, physically abused, sexually abused, which is molested, but she was everything under the sun. A lot of these poor children grow up and then she grow up and be extremely promiscuous. She'd have having all this sex and she'd have been in porn and you never know, you know what I mean? It's just, but it happens, it starts right here. Some of these households, man, there's a lot of abuse going on, you guys, a lot of abuse. May God rest this little girl's soul.
Police say Ava Phillips was shot and killed Saturday night at the Camden Vantage Apartments in Old Fourth Ward. Later tonight, there will be a vigil for her at that complex on Jackson Street Northeast. It's set to start at 7 p.m.
Yeah, that was just that clip, you guys. But, wow. I'm telling you, some of the stuff, man, some of these acts are so heinous. It's mind-boggling. Let's go to this one. Jackson mayor speaks out amid water crisis.
It is because of our transparency that the state is aware of the many challenges.
Wait a minute.
Any resident, we never cut off water. The lack of water was due to a lack of pressure in the system, which we stated was complicated by the flood waters that we received. It is because of our transparency that the state is aware of the many challenges that our system is facing. It is because of our transparency that we know about the staffing shortages. It is because of our transparency that they know about the system issues. And it is because of our transparency they know about the numerous equipment failures that we have. This is a set of accumulated problems based on deferred maintenance that has not taken place over decades.
Now, let me tell y'all this. The reason why I chose to go over this clip is because nobody's prepared for a major crisis in this country. I ain't gonna say nobody, but most people aren't prepared. Especially when it comes to water, y'all. You can go 40 days without food. You can only go 3 days without water. Make sure you get some some filter straws. Make sure you get some water tablets where you can purify the water. Make sure you have some water stored up in your garage and in your house. Make sure these things, because you never know. I did a video on this already about a water crisis. Now let me go out right quick just to go over this right quick. I did this video right here. Are Negroes ready for what's coming? 1,000% no. And you see the man got his little eyes covered down there and he's laughing. Because that's what people are doing. They laugh and have a good time and they ain't seeing none of the shit that's coming. But I'm gonna click on this video and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about when I say water tablets. Let me see. Look, this is a video I made. Life straw, nigga. Just in case you gotta filter some water. You ain't got no motherfucking fire starter, nigga. You might not be able to find no motherfucking cigarette lighter, nigga. You ain't got Aquatech. Just the water might be dirty. The water can be contaminated, nigga. We seen that in Flint, Michigan. You can see I made this video August the 15th. I made tablets to make the motherfucking water clean. And I just want to go over that little small thing, but look, you guys, be prepared. Look, you buy all the Jordans, the pretty shoes, the coats, the hats, the jackets. Everybody's looking good. You got the best smelling cologne and perfume and all that shit. But if some shit hit the fan, you really can't do nothing. You ain't got no generator. Most of you don't even have a generator. And I have to admit, my partner was on my ass about getting a generator. And now I'm on your ass about getting a generator. Shout out to Lonzo. But I got me a generator. Get you a generator. Get you some water tablets. Get you some of them straws that you can filter gallons and gallons of water. Get you at least 3 of those for the family. Just in case, y'all. You never know. So what? You spend $100. You blow $100 going out to drink. You blow $100 going out to smoke and have a good time. You at the bar. You laughing. You at the baseball, football, basketball game. You spending money on all type of bullshit. Spend a little bit of money on being prepared for what's coming. Because believe you me, a lot of these cities, the water system, the electrical grid, all this shit is old as fuck. A lot of this shit was built in the 50s and 60s and they haven't upgraded it. Yeah, one small disaster and this shit can go right off the cliff. So, you know, stay on top of your game, y'all. Next one, man's charged for installing hidden cameras in Starbucks.
Will be arraigned today after being charged for installing a hidden camera in Starbucks bathroom. Yeah, the cameras were found at a Starbucks in Walnut Creek, and Crown Source Sarah Stinson is there this morning. How long were those cameras in there without anybody knowing?
And that's scary, especially for young women and children. You know what I mean? Dudes don't really give a fuck. Obviously, nobody want to be filmed without their authority, but a dude is far less likely to care. But even him, he don't want nobody, you know, Peter gazing. You know, that's a term from Dallas. Peter gazing, looking at somebody's private parts without their authorization. Yeah, they don't want no Peter gazing. But obviously, man, it's scary for adults, but it's even scarier for children.
Stories like this, you guys, is just traumatizing for all. We all go into a Starbucks. We all use public bathrooms. This man is accused of installing these hidden cameras on 2 separate occasions. And not only was he trying to get video of people, but also trying to get video of children. And here at that Starbucks, we can actually see the bathroom behind me. And there's actually a sign on it that says, sorry, the bathroom is closed. I'm not sure if that is because of what happened at this Starbucks, but that's what we're seeing out here live. A man, again, arrested, accused of installing hidden cameras 2 times in his Starbucks bathroom here on...
And that's odd. That, I mean, the lengths that people will go to feel some kind of perverted niche or some perverted kink. It's just unbelievable, you guys. I mean, it's unbelievable. And by the way, I just want to drop a little knowledge. You know this the Starbucks logo. This is actually from the Greek mythology Cyrene. I know you heard of like the cars and the ambulance have a siren. These mermaids will, throughout the history of time, will come up to these ships. This is a legend that they would come up to the ships and they would make these loud ass siren noises, and they were so beautiful that it would lure the people on the ships into the water, and they chose this Greek pagan god as their logo. You know, just a little piece of knowledge. But yeah, regardless of the fact, you guys, we just got to be careful. It's like at every turn, you got to protect your home. You got to protect yourself when you go into a goddamn public bathroom. Everywhere you turn, you have to keep your head on a swivel nowadays. We just can't relax like we used to, y'all. All the mass shootings and killings and just, man, it's unbelievable, you guys.
Main Street in Walnut Creek. 54-year-old Stephen Novelli has been charged with 83 felony misdemeanor charges by the Contra Costa County District Attorney. The criminal charges filed just yesterday are for attempting to produce child pornography, eavesdropping, installing a hidden camera, and burglary. Police issued a search warrant at his house back on August 10th, where investigators say they found numerous pieces of digital evidence. Investigators are looking to talk with anyone who is at the Starbucks on Main Street in Walnut Creek on June 4th and July 23rd between 3:30 and 5 in the afternoon. So June 4th, July 23rd. Walnut Creek police are working with the county's crimes.
They need to bring back stoning. Shit. You got to go biblical on some of these people. Some of these people have such a demonic spirit, y'all. You have to go biblical. You need to bring back stoning. Everybody who was illegally videotaped should be able to hit his ass in the head with a rock.
Yeah, see, one of my ultimate concerns when I'm going in any bathrooms. Yeah, okay, thank you for that update.
But yeah, y'all, that's fucking insane. That's crazy. The amount of shit that's going on, y'all. I will go over this. This is like 11 minutes to say it's Civil War likely within the next decade. Now, you guys, this is the type of stuff, the reason why I did this video, our Negroes ready for what's coming. I have the gun up there and whatnot and all the different things and bullets. But look, half of the country has been preparing for Civil War for the last 50, 60 years. They really have, you guys. The other half is super liberal and they've been telling you don't need guns on such and such. But I'm telling y'all, you got to protect yourself. Because with this Donald Trump thing and people feeling like they illegally searched his house and it was unjust and uncalled for, regardless of what side you sat on, it doesn't really matter. If you're a Negro, you basically in the middle of some shit. So you really have to prepare yourself. Mexicans, Arabs, Asians, all of y'all too, they starting to face a lot more racism. They starting to join the party. Let's take a small look and see what they're talking about. Just a small look, Pete.
Well, we begin tonight with President Biden in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, near his hometown of Scranton, sending a sharp rebuke to the MAGA agenda and calling out the Republicans and the right as the real threats to the rule of law.
And now it's sickening to see the new attacks of the FBI, threatening the life of law enforcement agents and their families for simply carrying out the law and doing their job. There's no place in this country, no place for endangering the lives of law enforcement. No place. None, never, period. I'm opposed to defunding the police. I'm also opposed to defunding the FBI.
You know what's so odd about that when you hear him say that? As the Democrats was the main one when Donald Trump was in office, they all were talking about defunding the police. Now, the shoe is completely flipped, and now it's the Republicans who are mad as hell and threatening violence and this, that, and the third. And now the Republicans are not Republicans, I ain't gonna say, I don't want to put that on just Republicans, but there are people who are on the far right who want to harm and making threats towards law enforcement and feel like shit is unjust. And before it was the Democrats who was saying you need to defund the police, they ain't right. So it just flips. You know what I mean? That's why I'm apolitical, because it was a time when the Republicans wasn't doing shit right. I remember when George W. Bush was in office, you guys, and they started them unjust wars, Afghanistan, Iraq, and they were saying it was weapons of mass destruction, and it wasn't. They was lying. The same thing happening when the Democrats get complete power. They start lying. They don't do anything correct. So that's why I say I tend to stay apolitical. I'm in the middle on that shit. I really, I just kind of listen and try to just stay ready for what I know eventually is coming. But I'm not going to keep going over this whole video. I just wanted to take a peek, just so you can hear what some of the rhetoric. They say a man mauled to death by lion after climbing into zoo enclosure. What in the hell is going on? Why would you climb into a man?
Why would somebody come and try to enter, scale the fence and go inside to do what? If you're going for the calves, the lioness and the male will protect their calves. So please, this is a warning to people who have.
I know damn well somebody wasn't trying to steal a lion cub with a full-grown lion in there. You talking about getting what you deserve. Wow.
Other intentions and ulterior motives. Please, this is a no-go area.
And I'm assuming this is the person who jumped into the lion's den. Look how they got that motherfucker wrapped up. God damn. I seen trash bags wrapped. I seen garbage wrapped up better than that. Lord have mercy. They ain't got them body, they ain't got no body bags? Them motherfuckers use 15 goddamn trash bags. Come on now, man. Where's the body bag? Listen to me. That lion was still looking for action. God damn. Well, here's the last clip of the day. Iranian naval ship attempts to capture U.S. sea-based drone. Let me say this. Those drones are hackable. I watched a video a couple years ago where Iran had hacked one of the drones and took control of it. So that's always scary. Let's take a look.
That a ship belonging to the Iranian Navy attempted to capture a U.S. Navy sea-based drone around 11 p.m. local time on Monday. Joining us now is NBC Pentagon correspondent Courtney Kubi. Courtney, what can you tell us?
Yeah, that's right. So the USS Thunderbolt, which is a patrol ship, saw this Iranian support ship towing a U.S. sea drone. It's called a sail drone. About 11 o'clock last night, they tried to radio to the Iranians at least 5 separate times, according to a defense official I spoke with, but with no response. They were trying to tell them, hey, that's our drone. It's operating in international waters. It's not causing any kind of a hazard to shipping, and let it go. So the U.S. launched at least one helicopter out of Bahrain, and the Thunderbolt sent what's called a RIB. It's a rigid hull inflatable boat towards this area, with the intent of ultimately cutting that tow line, but the Iranians cut it first. So we got a brief statement from...
You know what I'm noticing, you guys? Whatever this drone is, they've altered the footage of it so we can't possibly see exactly how it looks. They've altered they altered it. I don't know exactly what the sea-based drone looks like. Actually, when I get done, I'm gonna look it up and see what it looks like. But I can tell you 100%, me watching this, they altered the footage so you can't see it.
Praise the U.S. professionalism in this case, saying that the professionalism...
You see that back there? Yeah, they... Hold on, let me look at one more time. Let me see.
General Michael Eric Kurilla, he praised the U.S. professionalism in this case, saying...
Yeah, they altered the footage right there, yeah.
The crew of the USS Thunderbolt prevented Iran from this illegal action. This incident once again demonstrates Iran's continued destabilizing, illegal, and unprofessional activity in the Middle East. The U.S.
What? Hey, listen to me. Listen to what they said. They said this incident once again demonstrates Iran's continued destabilization. That's exactly what America's doing in the Middle East. Illegal, them two wars that they had in Afghanistan and Iraq, illegal. Unprofessionalism, dropping drone bombs on weddings accidentally, killing a bunch of people, calling it collateral damage, innocent civilians. In the Middle East, every single word they used in this sentence, in this last sentence, is exactly what the United States is over there doing. That's why I said in another video I did, the United States is they be some of the biggest snitchers. They be telling on other countries and they be doing the exact same, everything that they blame other people for doing, that's what they be doing. I just find it a little bit amusing. I mean, obviously America's a superpower. They're going to do what they got to do, but it's ridiculous to say that Iran is destabilizing the Middle East. Really? They're illegal and their country is in the Middle East and unprofessional, and you the one got your drones and ships and cruisers and fucking F-16s and F-35s and jets and bombers all over the goddamn place in the Middle East. Unbelievable. You over in Syria right now dropping bombs. Boy, they ought to be ashamed. But I love when they say this type of shit. It just calls out how they just contradict themselves and just basically tell on themselves and say, really, this is what we doing.
Military maintaining that they were in international waters at the time and that this incident, which lasted 4 hours, that ended because of the result of the professionalism of the U.S. Navy in this instance.
On a close call, Courtney Kuby, thank you very much.
Hey, y'all, America is something else. They'll say anything, yeah. Like I did a little story on United States, and they was tapping them goddamn internet lines, Ethernet lines under the ocean floor, and the Russians was tapping them lines, and America looked over there and seen the Russian submarines down at the bottom of the ocean floor tapping the lines, and they told on Russia and said they down there tapping the lines, and America had been tapping the lines for years. Unbelievable, y'all. But yeah, y'all appreciate y'all tuning in, man. This is episode 4. It might be episode 4 or 5, I'm not sure. Episode 4 or 5, but I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I just took your ass on another sports, life, and politics. I'm Samuel Koppel, and I'm here for the news ride.